attempts to change the election process.
One ruling from a judge struck down a decision by a board stacked with Trump allies that would have allowed.
And good morning and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show video live stream. I have a special guest in studio right now, 5th District Commissioner for Berrien County, Rayonte Bell. Good morning, Rayonte. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Ken. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. You know, I mean, I love the cooler temperatures.
Oh, yes, I do too.
It's nice to have it. Not ready for it, but if you're watching on the video live stream right now, you can see I have one of my brand new birthday sweaters on, my cardigan that my wife Stephanie bought me.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I don't tell people when my birthday is just because I know it's like, anyway,
I don't either.
I'm weird that way, right? I think, so you're going to, my point is people are going to see this a lot because it's comfortable. I like it. And it keeps the chill off because especially in here, I don't know if you've noticed, but we have a lot of equipment hanging around in the hallway and they have the air conditioning on. I kid you not, even in the wintertime to keep the equipment cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't live like that.
But Commissioner Bell is here to talk with us a little bit about his candidacy. He's the incumbent for the Berrien County Commission District 5, and you're running for re-election. And so we're going to ask you a little bit about yourself, what you've been doing on the commission, what your thoughts are of what the county needs to be focusing on in the coming period of time. You want to talk quickly about what you do when you're not a Berrien County Commissioner?
Sure. So right now I'm a recruiter for the Michigan Workforce Development Institute. Is powered by the Michigan AFL-CIO. And what we do is offer a 9-week free training program for those who want to start a career in the skilled construction trades.
Okay.
So that's all those who want to be an electrician, a plumber, a pipe fitter, carpenter, bricklayer, all of those different
technical trades.
Yeah. We offer a free 9-week training to prepare them for when they go and actually enter their apprenticeship. So we offer it downtown Benton Harbor at the Pillar Center at 204 West Main Street. Like I said, it's a free training, and we also a little thing that we throw in there is a stipend of $200 every week for just making sure we send our appreciation for you just taking a chance on us and taking the class with us. And we offer a gas card for your mileage getting to and from class. So we do that, and we're starting our next cohort at the beginning of November. So if you're interested, reach out to me or go down to the present Pillar Center in Main Street in Benton Harbor.
Awesome. Okay. Is there a website or a social media presence?
Yeah. So you can go to miwdi.org and it'll show you how to apply for that.
Very nice. Nice plug. We'll talk more about what you do outside because I think that is a big part of our economy is they're either renovating or they're building.
Yes.
And if you don't have the skilled workers to do the job, you're kind of up a creek, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. We'll come back with more. We'll begin the interview formally in a few minutes right here on WSJM. We'll get through some news as well. It is the WSJM Morning Show. Thanks for joining us.
Murdering their parents in 1989, new evidence may prove they had been molested by their father.
ABC's Alex Stone. And Tom Brady's adding another line to his resume, NFL owner. The league has approved his move to become a part owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, but it also means restrictions around his broadcasting career will continue. Brady won't be able to attend meetings with players and coaches for the games he's covering, won't be allowed to watch practices either. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Meet Brian. He just got $5,000, and it was pretty easy. I'll tell you how in 10 seconds. Brian needed cash help. After being rejected by banks, he tried 27cash.com. Told them how much he needed, even let them know he had bad credit. In minutes, 27cash.com found a lender who deposited $5,000 into his bank account the very next day. If you need cash help, even if you have bad credit, go to 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
7:05 on October 16th. It's a Wednesday morning. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. Welcome to the WSJM Morning Show. It's 44 degrees under mostly cloudy skies in Benton Harbor, 46 degrees in St. Joseph with mostly cloudy conditions. Dowagiac right now is reporting 40 degrees. They've gone up from 39 to 40 degrees. We don't have any frost in our immediate area, but again, the weather forecast does have a freeze warning until 9 a.m. for St. Joseph County in Michigan, Elkhart, LaGrange, and Kosciuszko counties in Indiana. Today's forecast, a 20% chance of rain early, then partly cloudy skies. A high today getting up to a balmy 52 degrees. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight's forecast, partly cloudy. There is a frost freeze potential overnight outside of the lake shores. By the lake shores, we're probably going to stay a little bit warmer, as we usually do. But further inland, or less further inland, we're going to see a possibility of frost and freeze overnight. A low around 34 degrees with some light winds. Thursday's forecast, mostly sunny again. We're going to get a high. We're going to push it up to 60 degrees. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. The extended forecast, let's look at Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, patchy frost, sunny conditions, high of 67, low of 38. Saturday, partly sunny again, high of 68, low around 40 degrees. And Sunday, mostly sunny skies, a high around 70 on Sunday, and a low around 47. So it'll be very nice leaf raking weather. Very nice. We will be talking with Rayonte Bell. He is the Berrien County Commissioner for District 5 in just a moment, right here on the WSJM Morning Show. He's seeking re-election. We had his opponent on yesterday, Mary Brown. And so we'll be talking with Rayonte Bell about his candidacy in just a few moments right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We're also doing it on the video live stream, so you can tune on into Facebook or YouTube and see that entire interview as well. Some of the news that we're following from the WSJM newsroom: State Representative Brad Paquette is lending his voice to the chorus, calling on Kellogg's company to stop using artificial dyes in its children's breakfast cereals. A group led by an activist who calls herself the Food Babe delivered petitions with more than 400,000 signatures to the Kellogg's headquarters in Battle Creek yesterday. Representative Paquette was slated to speak there. He says all of the artificial chemicals being put into our food can't be good.
Yeah, they use hazardous materials like BHT and these dyes, these synthetic dyes, in their foods that are targeted towards children. And these things have some long-term ramifications on the young person's mind, like ADHD linked to studies of cancers and things like that. And so a lot of people are pretty fed up with that.
Paquette says Kellogg's uses natural ingredients in cereals that they ship to other countries, so he asks, why not here? The Food Babe, also known as Vani Hari, is a blogger and a mother of two. The company denied the petitioners a meeting yesterday, prompting the Food Babe to call for an all-out boycott of Kellogg products. South Haven Water and Sewer Authority has issued another boil water advisory for Willow Avenue until further notice. The advisory was put into effect after construction work to repair a leaking valve at LaGrange and Sunset was hit. Water for drinking, cooking, and making ice should be boiled and cooled before consumption. The water should be brought to a rolling boil for about 2 minutes. The authority will notify residents when the advisory is lifted. We'll also have the information here. If you experience low pressure or no water, you're asked to contact the South Haven Information Center with your name and address. And Benton Harbor Area Schools has launched a survey to find out what residents believe should be done to improve the district's facilities. Speaking to the Benton Township Board of Trustees last night, Superintendent Kelvin Butts asked that officials spread the word to the community so the district can get as much input as possible. He told us with a large number of buildings that the school district has, both in use and closed, the district has to decide which to repair, which to consolidate, and which to build anew. Butts says he's already been hearing from residents, and there's a common theme.
For the high school, of course, they would love to see it remodeled, restored to its original glory. Some of the buildings, like our closed buildings, they want us to remove them because some of them are really debilitated. And then some of them that are not as far gone, what can we do to bring them back?
Butts says since the state's debt forgiveness and it's no longer operating with a deficit, undertaking facilities improvements is a priority. He says the administration and school board will be prudent and responsible with how they make spending decisions. The goal is to have that survey complete, get the information out by February of next year. And finally, former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder is coming to Benton Harbor. WSJM's Andrew Green has this report.
Holder will speak at a rally in support of Michigan Supreme Court candidates Kyra Harris Bolden and Timberly Ann Thomas on October 29th. The Berrien County Democratic Party's Angela Bell tells us Holder is supporting the two because they would rule in favor of all Michigan residents. Bolden is currently on the court, having been appointed by Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and is now seeking a full term. Thomas would be new to the court if elected. Bell says the Black Mayors Association and the Democratic Party have teamed up to make Holder's visit possible. She says recent events have shown just how important judges are, and everyone should research which judges they're going to be voting for. Holder's appearance in Benton Harbor on the 29th will run from 5:30 to 7 p.m., and its location hasn't yet been announced. The event will be open to everyone who registers, and we have a link to the registration page at our website. Andrew Green, WSJM News.
And that's a look at some of the news that we're following from the WSJM newsroom this morning. It is 7:10, and we have an interview this morning. We continue our candidate discussions. We're doing a lot of these between now and November 5th, so please tune in. We have a video live stream going right now on Facebook and YouTube. If you want to see that there, just type in WSJM, go to our page, and click on the live video that you can see right there. We're going to start that interview with Commissioner Rayonte Bell. He's the 5th District Commissioner for Berrien County. We're going to start that interview now on the video live stream. We'll be back on the radio with it as well after a look at sports with Dave Wolf.
Major League Baseball from Tuesday, Game 2 of
Okay, and thank you again for joining us on the video live stream. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me this morning, Commissioner Rayonte Bell for Berrien County. How are you doing?
I'm good, Ken. How are you?
I'm doing well still. We talked a little bit this morning about the what we're doing with the candidate discussions, and what it is an opportunity for people who are running for public office to introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about their candidacy, what they have been up to, and their backgrounds, etc. So why don't we just start there? Who is Rayonte Bell?
Well, Rayonte Bell, I like to consider myself just a servant of people, a servant of God, a servant of my family. I'm just really, really big on, just serving and being able to lend a helping hand when I can. And so, whether that's in my capacity as an elected official, or, in my church and ministry, or just in the home, I'm always, willing to lend a hand.
All right. We're going to talk more about your background in just a moment. We'll ask you to, where you're from, what you've been doing, and all that other stuff, and why you're running for Berrien County Commissioner again. In just a moment, we'll get back to the radio here. Hang on just a second.
Sunny Thursday with a high of 60. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
It is such a pleasure to be welcomed into your home, into your car, into your workplace, wherever you are. Thanks for joining us on the WSJM Morning Show. You can listen to us on the radio. You can download an app. We have the WSJM app. You can live stream us there. You can also check us out on our website, WSJM.com. We have all our stories posted there, and we have the live stream. And then we also have our Facebook and YouTube. You can't escape us. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Go to Facebook and watch the video live stream that we have up and operating right now. And we're continuing right now our candidate discussion series. And this morning we have an incumbent in office. He's the 5th District Berrien County Commissioner, Rayonte Bell. And good morning, Rayonte. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. And we've already talked just a hair about your background. But for those who weren't on the video live stream, give us the full rundown. Who is Rayonte Bell? And tell us what your background is and how you led all your way up to Berrien County Commissioner.
Thank you, Ken. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
So I am a native of the Ben Harbor, St. Joe, Twin City community. I know a lot of people probably haven't heard the Twin City phrase in a while, but that's what I like to consider it, the Twin City area.
Okay.
Born and raised in Ben Harbor, attended Ben Harbor area schools, Boynton Montessori, Magnet School, all the way up through 7th grade, then went to Morden Hill Magnet School, and then eventually went to Countryside Academy from 9th through 12th grade, which Countryside is an amazing school out there on Meadowbrook Road. There were a lot of memories there and quality education, I'll say. It definitely prepared me for what I saw when I went to college. And so after graduation in 2017, I went on to Southwestern Michigan College, where I began studying. I was a STEM major. And then after
Science,
that,
technology, engineering, mathematics.
Yes.
Yep.
And so I really cut my teeth there in organizing. I'm an organizer at heart. And so there I got really involved on campus in campus life, whether that was in campus ministry, or it was with the Council of Clubs and Student Organizations. I was the vice president of that. And then my one of my friends and I, we started the Black Student Union on SMC's campus, where we kind of created a space for African American students or students of color to kind of come and talk about some of the issues that they face, whether it's in higher education or just in general in society. And so it was there where I kind of was inspired to just be this organizer and try to galvanize people around certain issues that we face in society, and find out who it is that we talk to that does make the changes, that does listen to the people and kind of act on them, whether it's through legislation or policy advocacy or anything that kind of makes movement on towards change in our society. And so I left SMC and finished off a couple of classes at LMC, and now I'm completing an undergrad at Andrews University in architecture. So that's my educational background. And it was 2019 when I came back and went to LMC to finish classes, where the mayoral election for the city of Ben Harbor was going on, and Chokwe Pitchford, who's a fellow county commissioner, along with Joey Andrews, our current state rep for the 38th, they were also organizing in the area. Chokwe was a part of Organizing Corps, which is an organization that kind of trains young people to do community organizing. And so I kind of facilitated a debate in Ben Harbor in 2019 for the mayoral candidates. And Joey Andrews came up to me afterwards and told me about this seat that was going to possibly be open on the Berrien County Commission. And he asked where I lived, and I told him, and he said, that's right on the line that separates Ben Harbor and St. Joe Township. And so he said, I think you would be a good candidate for county commission, given, just your poise and your ability to talk about issues and to, get people kind of inspired by what could happen in their community. And so I went home, talked to my family and my friends. Chokwe, he kind of forced me to do. He said I had no choice.
Okay.
But yeah, I put my name on the ballot, and it was during COVID. So it was an interesting time to campaign.
Yeah.
We didn't get to knocking doors until late September, I believe, because of the social distancing. But it was a fun year, and and I think the story about how it was a tie on election night. I ended up winning by 4 votes. And so
4 votes.
Now I'm here.
Every vote makes a difference.
Yes, sir.
Every vote makes a difference. No, thank you for that background. And I guess I didn't realize it was 4 votes that separated.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So now fast forward, you've been commissioner. How has that been?
It's been good. It's been great, actually. Learning just about government in general, but specifically what the county commission does in the state of Michigan and just in general has been very interesting. And I've been honored to actually be in this position to learn about the different things that make our society kind of run.
Yeah.
When we're talking about whether it's the sheriff's department or our road department or the health department, all of those things are things that I think a lot of people don't know about. And even I didn't know about it coming into it, but it's just been a blessing to, sit and be able to converse about the different issues and the different roles that each of these departments play in the overall health of the county. And just to be a member of that 12 commissioner board, it's been a blessing, and I'm very grateful and honored that the people of District 5 elected me to represent them.
Yeah. What do you see? What was most surprising? You don't know until you're there. At least that's what I find many times, is you don't really know until you're in it to really understand the full breadth of what a role might be.
Mm-hmm.
And so as you got into the role of Berrien County Commissioner, what is it that surprised you most?
the amount of work that goes into it. I mean, so you have the board of commissioners. Right now, we're a 12 member board, but then you have the county administrator, who is technically an employee of the board, along with the corporate counsel, who's also an employee of the board. But then you have all the different department heads and all of the employees that make up these departments, and just to see all of the work that goes into us ultimately making the decisions on where to allocate taxpayer dollars. That was the kind of mind-blowing thing, because a lot of the work that's done is behind the scenes. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't necessarily see the decisions being made about the health department and all of the services that they render to the community. But as a commissioner, you get to see where the money comes from, where it goes, and all of the different ideas that our department heads have, and how staff eventually carry out those ideas. So it's definitely been mind blowing, kind of like drinking out of a fire hose when you first get there. But
Sure.
as time goes on, you learn more every day.
How do you? What would you characterize as the most difficult time or decision that had to be made as county commissioner? I imagine I watch the county commission meetings on a regular basis, attend a few of them, and it seems to me that it's very cordial in the commission room. And I have to imagine that there's like you said, there's a lot that happens that's not in the commission meetings itself. Can you think of one of the most difficult periods that you've served as so far?
I can definitely.
You got a
speak to
few?
that.
Tell us. We
I
got
mean,
time.
So, I mean, just one in particular during COVID, that was a crazy year for everyone. But, just being an elected official and being tasked with trying to combat all of the badness that came with COVID, and trying to make decisions, not exactly knowing where we were in terms of public health, but also how to kind of bounce back economically and fiscally. I think that was a very difficult time. And also, this was a time where emotions were very high,
Right.
whether it was from an elected official's viewpoint or from a citizen's viewpoint. There was a lot of contention, and I don't think a lot of people saw it initially. I do think there was a meeting that we had down at Silver Beach where it got very contentious, and we had a lot of parents who were very lost, confused about some of the things that were happening during COVID. And they were very, emotionally invested in what the county was doing to respond to it. And I think some of those emotions, they kind of, bled over to our commissioners, and it caused our commissioners to kind of stumble and not really know what to do. And so we as a county board, we try to reach consensus on all the issues that we encounter. And so I think at that point, we were kind of torn because we didn't know what to do. We're none of us on the board, has degrees in public health. So
Right.
it was kind of hard for us to say, well, we have residents who feel this way, and we have personal feelings about it, but we also have facts that lie before us. We have, professionals who study public health, and they are making decisions, claiming to be in the interest of the public. So what do we do with that? And I think it was very difficult, but I to God be the glory, we were able to get through that difficult season. And I think now we've learned some lessons, and we're definitely gonna apply those lessons going forward.
Yeah, you think you do it differently, knowing what you know now?
I do think in terms of how the county board kind of left the health officer kind of on a ledge.
Right.
I do think we as elected officials who are at a lot of times equipped with the knowledge and the temperament to kind of calm people down and let them know that the experts are at work and they're trying to make decisions on the best interests of the community. I think we as county commissioners could have done a better job at kind of reinforcing that solidarity, that because we kind of knew that our health officer was not acting maliciously when they declared the mask mandate and all of that stuff. But a lot of people high on emotions, they don't understand that these decisions aren't being made nefariously. They're
Right.
being made with the intentions on doing good for the community. And so I do think we could have done a better job at that.
Yeah. And I want to ask you about priorities that you see for Berrien County going forward, what you'd like to see addressed, how you think the priorities currently are being addressed. But do you think, speaking about the county commission itself, do you think it's working well? Do you think there's recent discussion about how frequently it meets
Mhm.
and whether or not it's meeting at the right cadence, if it's handling the issues in the way that it could be handling, or can it be operated in a more efficient manner? Your thoughts?
I do think that we should take another look at how often we're meeting.
Because Berrien County Commissioners, you meet every week.
Yes.
You're the only county commission in Michigan that meets every week.
Correct. Yeah, and I do think we need to reevaluate how we're using our time. And the accessibility that the public has to our meetings, I think really needs to be readdressed and reevaluated, because
How so? Yeah.
so we meet during the morning hours of the day, and these are during the hours where most people work.
Right.
And so if they do have something to say or contribute to conversations that we're having in that boardroom, it's difficult for them to do so. They would have to take time off work, which most people can't really do.
Sure, it'd be hard.
And so and we have the option to watch the meeting on YouTube, but you can't interact with
Right.
us on YouTube. And so I do think us looking at just that alone, it kind of warrants us to kind of reevaluate our meeting structure and cadence.
Okay. All right. We're talking with Rayonte Bell. He's 5th District Berrien County Commissioner. He's running for re-election on November 5th, and we've got more to talk about, including priorities for Berrien County, how they're doing. We probably talk about the jail at some point. Everyone seems to be talking about that, and whether or not we build a new one at some point. It's 7:28. We've got more news coming up. We've got our Bloomberg report, our ABC News, our local news, and then we'll be back with this.
What would you call a free account that helps you save automatically?
All right, and continuing on the video live stream with our interview, we have Rayonte Bell here. He's 5th District Berrien County Commissioner. Is that a touchy subject about how frequently the commission meets?
Yeah.
Why is it a touchy subject?
I mean, I think
What's your view?
some people are more used to how we do things.
Yeah.
And there's kind of this resistant to change, though saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Hmm.
I think a lot of people think it ain't broke.
Hmm.
But I do think there are some on the board who thinks maybe it's broken a little bit. Maybe we can tweak it a little bit to make it better. And like I said, just public accessibility to our meetings, and just for the sake of government transparency, I do think we should take another glance at it. We kind of did a survey for the board a couple of weeks ago, and we were hoping that, or some of us were hoping that this was going to spark that next step towards the change.
Right.
But unfortunately, some of the board members, most of them, were not interested in changing at the moment. So maybe we'll revisit that again sometime soon. Maybe after the election.
I mean, if you think about it and you look at like government effectiveness, I mean, just on its surface, you think, okay, well, there are a lot of counties in Michigan. We're the only one that meets every week. Maybe we should look at it.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
But if you think about government effectiveness, I mean, you think about what's the population trend been in Berrien County, and so how many people do you represent? What are the jurisdictions you represent? Does that what are the things that you're making decisions on? and how are you spending your time? Should there be a different number of commissioners?
Yeah, that's been something that's been talked about,
So, I mean, it seems like it's ripe for a review. How do you make that happen?
I mean, so I do know when redistricting happens every 10 years, they also look at population size of the county.
Yeah, the apportionment, sure.
Yeah, and so I do think in how many years now? I think 2030 is when they'll revisit that process, and
not a moment too soon. Sorry.
yeah. Unfortunately, we're kind of stuck like this right now as far as number of commissioners. But I do think also we talked about how it's kind of hard to recruit people to run for a county commission because it's difficult. I mean, I'm young. I work a full-time job. I'm not at a place where I can't work. And so to make time for the commission meetings every week for the amount of time that we meet, it was difficult at first. Thankfully, my job has allowed me that flexibility to take that time off and attend the meetings. But a lot of people I know who are interested in running, they don't have that same luxury. And so I do think that we also should look at that, because the younger people who want to get involved, they're probably not in the same positions as older people who are maybe retired, or people who have a little bit more disposable income to kind of play with and be able to have that time flexibility. And so I think looking at this will be for the betterment of everyone on each side of the issue.
Yeah. Okay. We're talking with Rayonte Bell. He's Berrien County Commissioner for District 5, running for re-election. Let's catch up on our video live stream comments. Teresa says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Ken and Commissioner. Shokwe Pitchford weighed in. He said, go Rayonte. So you got some support there.
Thanks, buddy.
Teresa also says, good morning, Shokwe. Diane says, good morning, all. Let's see. And Teresa says, good morning, Diane. I hope you have a great day as well. All right. So we are listening to the Bloomberg report right now. We're going to get ABC News in a moment, and we're going to continue our interview with 5th District Berrien County Commissioner Rayonte Bell. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Down 0.75% to 1%. The chip stocks pulled back. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
And good morning once again. It is the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. My guest in studio this morning is Rayonte Bell. He's the 5th District Commissioner for Berrien County. He's running for re-election. He's the incumbent in that race. We'll be talking with him in a few minutes a little bit more about what he sees as the priorities for Berrien County going forward after 2024. It is 7:33, and we've got ABC News now, then our local news next.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. Georgia voters breaking records. 30,000 people turned out on the first day of early voting. That's more than double the number in 2020. Former President Trump asked some tough questions about his proposed tariffs Tuesday during a conversation moderated by Bloomberg's editor-in-chief, John Mickelway.
The former president out on the campaign trail, he promises widespread tariffs on all imported goods. Economists have warned that that's not going to be good for the economy, that it's actually going to have devastating impacts on consumers across the country. Trump was pressed for specific details to show that he could prove otherwise, and he didn't exactly have that.
ABC's Rachel Scott. The Biden administration giving Israel a 30-day deadline to increase aid in northern Gaza or lose future U.S. military funding. The number of customers still without power in Florida after Hurricane Milton down from millions to just over 70,000. Governor Ron DeSantis praising recovery efforts, saying power has never been restored so quickly to so many after a storm. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
And we're continuing with the WSJM Morning Show. We have an interview with the incumbent candidate for re-election, 5th District Berrien County Commissioner Rayonte Bell. We'll continue that interview in just a moment. Some of the news that we're looking at this morning: St. Joseph City Commissioners have once again declined to change an ordinance that prohibits the parking of campers and RVs in front yard driveways. At the commission's meeting this week, they heard an update on how the enforcement of the ordinance has gone. But apparently there's a problem of people parking RVs, boats, campers and the like in front driveways, which is against an ordinance of City of St. Joseph. And neighbors just didn't want to call it in. And so they went from complaints-based enforcement to universal enforcement. They actually handed out about 115 flyers to residents who were observed to be violating the rule. And so actually, after all the visits and follow-ups, they only issued one citation. So the apparently enforcement awareness seems to be working, but there's still some discussion on whether or not that ordinance should be on the books. So we'll tell you more about that story and where the city commissioners are on that position at 8 o'clock this morning. Also, coming to Benton Harbor and St. Joseph next month for the unveiling of new monuments to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. will be Martin Luther King III. Unified Civic Monuments Project founder Sharon Brown tells us the eldest son of the legendary civil rights leader will take part in the celebration. We'll tell you more about that and how you can get involved and hear Martin Luther King III speak. He'll be at Lake Michigan College. That's coming up at 8 o'clock. And then also we'll tell you a little bit about a scavenger hunt that's happening in downtown St. Joseph. The Downtown Development Authority, St. Joe today, is holding its Where's the Witch contest between now and October 31st. So your opportunity to win some prizes there. We'll tell you about those stories and more coming up at 8 o'clock. It is the WSJM Morning Show. We'll continue our candidate discussion interview in a few moments. Weather forecast for today looks pretty good. Only a 20% chance of rain and then partly cloudy skies. I think we've seen the rain go by. South Haven had a little bit. We haven't had much. High today pushing around 52 degrees. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight's forecast, partly cloudy, a frost or freeze possible overnight off the lakeshore a little bit. Low around 34 degrees, light winds. Thursday's forecast, mostly sunny, a high around 60, and south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. We've got sports with Dave Wolf coming up in just a moment after a look at state news.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher, Vice President.
All right, back to our video live stream. Thank you all for joining us. Chokwe Pitchford made this comment. He says, I think we should meet daily. Is he talking about me or you?
He's not talking about me.
Okay. All right. Chokwe, I see. He's talking about the commission wants to meet daily. You're funny, Chokwe.
Yeah.
You're funny, Commissioner.
That is a joke indeed.
Yeah, that's funny. Because if you meet more often, if you meet more frequently, then maybe you have more effective government. No, not at all. Not at all. We've seen what happens in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
They meet every day, just about. It's funny. All right, let's continue the interview. Priorities for Berrien County. What do you, first let's talk about what do you think the big things have been since you've been in office? Big accomplishments.
So I do think that us kind of investing in our cracking infrastructure, whether that's money towards roads or capital improvement projects that we have, kind of gotten underway and completed some of them since I've been elected, thanks to the American Rescue Plan Act monies that we were given by the federal government. And also we were able to make a lot of progress in the southern parts of our county with broadband infrastructure build out. I'm on the BC BIT, which is the Berrien County Broadband Internet Task Force. And we've been using some of those ARPA dollars to invest in connecting the parts of the county that didn't have good quality high-speed internet build out. We've been working with internet service providers to actually make that build out happen and get those folks connected. And so I do think that has been a big accomplishment, and shout out to our BC BIT chair, Commissioner Terry Freeling, and the work that she's done in leading that effort, along with the many players in our county that's making that happen. So I think that is a huge accomplishment. Like I said, trying to fix up our buildings because we had a lot of how can I say it?
Go ahead, be frank.
We had a lot of deferred maintenance that I think before our administrator Brian Dissett came in, I think former administrators dating years back did not properly kind of point out and address to the board. And so I do think the way that Brian has come in and kind of made us aware of these are the things that we need to do. We have buildings that aren't ADA compliant, things that kind of make us liable if someone were to kind of get into an accident or a building burned down, stuff like that. We don't want those type of things happening. So we got to get in there and fix it, or if need be, we got to replace some of those buildings. So I do think we've done an excellent job at that. And kind of keeping the county safe when it came to COVID-19. All of the efforts that were implemented by our health department and our sheriff's department and all of the different departments in the county kind of got together and tackled that issue. And I do think that was a huge success.
Now, on the administrator part, would you agree that it's not just the role of the administrator to bring forward the infrastructure challenges? It's up to each commissioner to also be hearing from the department heads. Do you think that there's enough of a clear communication pathway as it is right now to make sure that you have visibility outside of what the administrator brings forward?
So right now, we do have our department heads kind of giving each parent committee updates on what's going on in their department and some of the needs that need to be addressed in their departments, in these different facilities that house our employees and our services. And so I do think that we're doing a good job at communicating with our staff and with our administrator, but of course there's room for growth. I do think there are some practices that kind of need to be tightened up and everything, but for right now, I do think our administrator and our department heads are communicating with us well.
Okay, because there's a lot of infrastructure questions on one of the big ones is the jail.
Yeah.
How soon should we have that discussion in earnest about a new jail? I know there have been some discussions. There's been some studies. I think a study is currently in progress. What do we do about that?
I do think that conversation needs to be had very soon.
Yeah.
Because we can't just keep throwing money into the jail when we see that the entire building is aging, and also when we just look at it from a standpoint of what is the best way to house people who we separate from society due to crime. What is the best way to house them and rehabilitate them and get them back into society? I think there are different designs and different strategies when it comes to the architecture of a jail, and I do think that if we look at those different innovative ideas, it's going to definitely warrant us to create a new facility and replace the existing one.
Okay. All right. I want to hear more about that in just a moment. We're talking with Rayonte Bell. He's 5th District Commissioner for Berrien County. He's running for re-election. If you have missed any of our candidate discussions, please feel free to go back to our Facebook page, type in WSJM and go to our Facebook page. There you can click on videos, and there you can see all the different videos that we've done with all the different candidates for Berrien County Commissioner. We've done State Representative, the U.S. Senate. It's all there for you to take a look at, and sheriff as well. We've done sheriff. That was interesting as well. 7:44 is the time. We have more happening on the WSJM Morning Show. We're going to continue this interview in just a moment. Just checking the comments from the video live stream. Looks like they've calmed down. They're behaving right now. So we'll be right back with more of this interview.
Lake effect clouds and rain showers are ongoing this morning. We'll see those taper off and then slowly become partly sunny. We're going to end up at 52 this afternoon. Tonight we clear out, though. Near the lakeshore, we'll stay near 40, but just inland, we will drop down into the low 30s, giving us a frost or a freeze overnight, and then mostly sunny Thursday with a high of 60. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
And thank you so much for joining us. It's 7:45. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. My guest this morning is Rayonte Bell. He is the 5th District Commissioner for Berrien County. He's running for re-election, and this is part of our candidate discussion series. And so far, Commissioner Bell, we've been talking about your background, some of the things that the county's been dealing with, some of the hard decisions, and some of that related to COVID, and a little bit about the infrastructure. And one of the things we left off talking about just a moment ago was the jail. And it seems like every time I talk with somebody who is either in or running for the Berrien County Commission, the topic of the jail comes up, and the sheriff as well. I mean, we've got a building there that's 50 plus years old, and it's been renovated substantially a couple of times at least. And should we keep pouring money into the jail where it is right now?
Not really.
Not a lot.
I don't think it would be the fiscally responsible thing to do. I do think that, as we know that it's going to take some time to get us there to the point where we're constructing a new jail. I mean, one of the biggest hurdles is where we're going to get the money to build
right
it.
Money.
Back when we first started having a real conversation about it, we knew that it was going to be over $100 million upward to $300 million to build a new jail facility. I can only imagine that price has gone up tremendously, just due to inflation and how our economy is these days. So we first have to find out where we're going to get the money. But as we continue to house people in Berrien County, we do need to just keep making sure that it's a safe environment for those inmates and for our sheriff's department to adequately secure the facility so that no one is posing a threat to themselves, each other, or Berrien County as a whole. And so, I do think that conversation needs to be had. And I think it's kind of looming at the board level of, what we're going to do. Are we going to move it, out on Napier, or, is there, what is the plan? What do we want to do as a county board? What can we do? And so
here's what I worry about. I worry, and I've heard it from people from both sides of the aisle on the jail issue of the costs have gone up, and it's not just the jail. Costs have gone up post-pandemic. Perhaps we can wait to see if those costs come down. I don't think they're going to come down. I mean, price of everything goes up, and we don't see it come down.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on, what we're talking about, the cost of what. I mean, because, I remember during the pandemic, the cost of wood went up tremendously.
It did, you're right.
Now, we've seen it come down since then, but other products that we use to, construct things, they've kind of, stagnated. We talk about the waiting game, but we know that, the more we wait, the more risk that we're taking when it comes to just the safety of the people that we serve. And so I do think, like I said, we need to be talking about this now. We need to come up with a plan on how to fund this project if this is what we want to do.
Okay, thank you for that. Priorities for Berrien County. What do you want to see the commission address going forward?
So, kind of tying in with the jail talk, juvenile justice is a passion of mine. I was appointed by the governor in 2022 to the Committee on Juvenile Justice in the state of Michigan. And what we do is we fund different programs across the state of Michigan that addresses issues that impact youth, juveniles who happen to enter the criminal justice system. And so I do think some of the work that is being done by our committee, as well as the juvenile task force headed by the lieutenant governor, a lot of the things that they're recommending as far as policy and implementation, we can, kind of implement some of those things here in Berrien County. We have a juvenile facility that is not being used adequately. And it's because we can't staff it because of facility issues. And
Right.
so I do
Infrastructure issue there too.
Yeah, and so I do think that we do need to turn a focus to the youth in our community, addressing mental health, addressing crime in our communities. That is done by youth. I think the youth is our future. I mean, they're our present too, and so if we don't invest in them, if we don't focus on them, then we won't really have a future, or the future will look really dark for us. And so that's one of the issues that I want to focus on, as well as public transportation. Now, as I talk to the residents of the district, I often hear about traffic congestion, parking issues, and access to public transportation. So the Takata Dial-A-Ride that is in Ben Harbor, they serve the Twin Cities, the Ben Harbor and St. Joe area, and also parts of the township. But the service, the quality of service with Takata has kind of gone down over the years.
And they lost their insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of issues going on at Takata. And although as a county commissioner, I don't have any direct influence on what goes on with Takata, because they're ran by their own governing board, and members of that board is appointed by the mayor and the Ben Harbor City Commission. As county commissioner for this area that is served by Takata, I do find it my duty and obligation to kind of research and investigate ways that I can contribute to the good of the cause of access to public transportation. And I'm also on the transportation study for the Twin Cities, so we talk road funding and road projects. And so a lot of the things that pertain to public transit, I think I'm in a position where I can affect good change. And so I want to continue working on those things. And the third thing, but is really important, intergovernmental collaboration. And since I've been elected, working with the municipalities that I serve has been a blessing. St. Joe Township, Shoreham Village, and the city of St. Joseph. I came into that. I came into this role wanting to build bridges. The slogan for my campaign is "Building Bridges and Restoring Faith." And part of being a commissioner is being sort of a Chokwe kind of. We talked about this the other day. He said a conveners in chief. Kind of making sure that we're making connections in communities as county commissioners, convening people to meet and talk about the issues in each district. And I think that's our role as county commissioners. And so going to the city, going to the township and the village, making sure I'm making myself available to those municipalities has come in handy when it came time for projects that impact that community. Having open lines of communication and making sure that all offers are on the table when it comes to just collaboration and teamwork. That's a focus of mine that I want to continue doing in this role, and also working with our state legislature to make sure legislation being passed and proposed in Lansing is for the good of Berrien County.
Okay, we're talking with 5th District Commissioner Rayonte Bell, and we'll give some closing remarks in just a moment. It is the WSJM Morning Show.
Rich Brand and Tara Halsey from Insurance Management Service, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and Niles, know it means something to have peace of mind knowing your insurance is taken care of.
We have staff that the majority of their career has been in insurance, and the majority.
All right, video live stream check-in. We need public transportation in Stevensville as well. What is that's from Teresa, a comment from Teresa. Why don't we have a regional transit authority?
Good question. So as far as this this urbanized area, Takata gets money from the federal government.
Yeah.
With that money comes this stipulation that no other transit system can serve this area but Takata.
Okay.
And so we have Berrien Bus that services different areas of the county, and you have Niles Dollarized system that services the southern parts of the county. But we've been talking about possible consolidation of those systems. But in order for that to happen, someone has to kind of drop off.
I see.
And so
And Button Harbor's not willing to do that.
From the conversations that I've had, and they've been minimal,
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like there's an appetite or desire for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and with the insurance question looming,
Mhm.
I mean, that's a big one. If
Yeah.
they can't get insurance, then maybe that'll force the issue.
Maybe.
What do you know, Commissioner? All right, we'll continue this interview in just a moment. It is the WSJM Morning Show, and we'll wrap it up here in just a second. Thanks for joining us on the video live stream. We really appreciate you.
Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
And this is the part of the interview where we ask candidates to give their pitch. Any and all who dare to come into the studios of WSJM get the opportunity to tell us why they want your vote. It's part of the Moody on the Market update. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and Niles. We've got about 3.5 minutes. You want to take 3 minutes? Go.
Sure. So if you were just to ask me, why are you running for re-election? I tell you, I quote the late, great basketball legend Kobe Bryant, job's not finished. You know, I came into this with the goal of, like I said, building bridges and restoring faith in our local elected officials. We live in a time where the political climate is very tumultuous and very volatile. And one of the things that I noticed when I first decided to run was this isn't the vitriol is not allowing room for us to actually focus on the issues together and make headway towards progress in our community. And so I ran because I wanted to be that voice of reason in the midst of the calamity that exists in our political climate. And so, as I've been serving as commissioner, my ultimate goal has been to be a collaborator, to be a team player, and to be that person that says, let's just work together in the midst of our differences, in the midst of our disagreements. Let's work together and focus on the primary goal, which is serving Berrien County and making Berrien County the best place that it could be. And so, as I vie for the esteemed role and responsibility of being county commissioner, I just want to say to every one of my constituents that I appreciate the support. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate you lending your voices, whether that's via your vote at the ballot box or your calls and emails to me. Those are the things that really fuel me and help me be a better servant to you guys. And so I am very thankful, very blessed to be your commissioner. And like I said, job's not done. We still got bridges to build. We still got some people who have lost faith in their local government. And I'm here to tell you that I want to be a part of changing your perspective on what local government means to you, what it does for you, and I'm here to build bridges.
Okay. And how can people find out more about your campaign, more information?
You can go to my Facebook page. That's Rayonte Bell for County Commissioner. You can email me at rbellforcommissioner@gmail.com. Or you can call me at 269-759-4938. Those are my contact info, and come see me at the County Board of Commissioners meeting on Thursdays at 8:35 is our committee of the whole, and then at 10:30 we begin our full board session. So
all right.
meet me there.
Okay. Thank you very much, Commissioner Rayonte Bell, Berrien County Commission. It's the WSJM Morning Show, and we continue with news next.
American farmers are always working for you. The food
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is News Talk Sports 94.9. WSJM FM, Benton Harbor, St. Joseph.
From ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. The final stretch, less than 3 weeks.
And thank you to those of you on the video live stream. Sorry, we took it right up to 8 o'clock. Boy, we ran out of time. Thank you very much, Commissioner Bell. We appreciate any final words for the folks watching on the video live stream.
Yeah, no, continue to be engaged. Continue to use your voice, whether that's voting or just, reaching out to your local elected officials and asking them questions, giving them your concerns. And that's what makes our community thrives. That's what makes it goes forward is your engagement, your voice, just, getting involved. That's what we want. That's what we need.
We appreciate you coming in today, Commissioner. We'll see you.
Thank you.
All right. See you on the video live stream. We appreciate you, and tell your friends and family.
The candidate who will defend the principles and ideals